Take a look at this account. This creator has over 17,000 subscribers. Let's take a look at this one. It has over 800,000 views.
A father went to say goodnight to his son, as it was routine since he knew his son would have trouble sleeping if he didn't. It was a sort of silent tradition between them, one he never forgot.
So it's got some pretty simple animation on some AI generated images with an AI voiceover and some background music. Let's take a look at another account here. This creator has over 300,000 subscribers, and most of these videos are getting millions of views. There are tons of creators out there making videos that are just getting millions and millions of views. And I've created an automation that will make these videos for you with just a couple button clicks. All right, so I'm gonna demo how this automation works. I'm here in my Airtable base. We can see a couple of the examples I was testing with and playing with, these two stories about a lost ship. So let's go ahead and start a new story in my Airtable base I've created here. I'll click the plus to create a new story, and we'll call this one The Lost Dutchman. So I live in Arizona, and I found this awesome story about the Lost Dutchman mine. It's a pretty famous story out here. So I'm gonna copy and paste this in as my source. We'll get to that in a second. In my Airtable base, I can choose a couple settings here first. So in the video orientation, we can decide on an orientation for the final video. And I want this to be posted on social media in short form. I'll select portrait. We can choose a type of writer here. And if I click the plus, we can see a couple of the preset writers I've built in here. These are basically custom ChatGPT assistants I've created to write these stories. So I'm going to choose my news reporter writer, and I'll choose an image style for the images that get generated for this story. I think for this one, I want to do, we can choose vintage or photograph, I think. Let's just try the photograph style. Right away, it pops up with a prompt preset, so you can see the preset here and what that is actually doing. The photograph image style is creating this preset that gets loaded into the image generation tool. And when those image prompts get generated, it'll add this into each of those image prompts. So for the input story source, I'm gonna add that story about the Lost Dutchman mine. So I'll come back into ChatGPT, copy that back into the automated Faceless story generator, and paste that into the story source right here. Now we have one more setting here. We can choose the level of automation we wanna use: full auto, semi-auto, or manual. And this is just how much control you want over the creation process. Full auto will fully generate everything. Semi-auto will generate some things with some human touch points, and manual, you'll have to manually generate your images and things like that inside of the generation tab over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this to full auto and click start. Okay, this will run the make scenario. Let's jump over there and take a look at this. This is gonna kick off the generation of the story and story prompts, create the voiceover, create the images, and create the videos. So we can see this one running through. It is writing the voiceover prompts and sending that back to Airtable. Let's take a look at Airtable into the generation tab, and we can see a list of all of the projects I was working on. Here is a default demo one I started, and then these two testing stories I made right here. This is our brand new Lost Dutchman story, and it's generated the voiceover script for each of the scenes. Each of the scenes is now generating the audio for that voiceover. Each of these scenes will be generating an image. This image is being generated in Flux. So this Airtable automation gives you access to Flux and the AI image generation models in Flux. So we can see those images coming through back from Flux for each of the scenes here. And now that we've got our images and voiceover, it's going to start to generate the video for each of these scenes and then compile the audio, voiceover, and the video from those scenes. We can take a look at some of these images coming through. Again, this was the photo setting, so we might want to choose a different image style, vintage or something like that. But for this one, I'm just going full auto to demonstrate what you can actually create in just a few button clicks. So just reviewing some of these images, they look pretty good already. That actually looks like the scenery out here where the Lost Dutchman mine actually is out here in Arizona. That's pretty cool. So while these videos and the compilations are coming through. Let's take a look at some of the other tables up here. So the next table down, it would be the assembly table. That's where we can start putting these scenes together and adding the background music. But for these other tables, what I've created are the presets and the ChatGPT assistants that actually do all the work here. So these are the story writers. This is where we can add all of the assistants that do the writing. So each of these is a prompt for ChatGPT, giving instructions on how to write these stories out. So I have a news reporter, a cryptid storyteller, and a fantasy writer that can each generate unique stories in a specific style of writing. In the next one down, we have the prompt presets. So this is basically your image styles, the art styles you want to add in here. I've got a label. So each of these can be added to your image prompts as a preset. And then in here, we have some more assistants that can control the behavior of the overall output. We have a research bot and a fact checker. If you're doing news reports, we can actually get true and accurate information from these two here. And a prohibited language list. This is basically language you don't want in your stories, in your articles. If you're doing more fact-based stories with the voiceover, we can leave out these phrases and words that just sound more like it was written by AI, and removing these makes it sound more human in the overall output. So let's check back in the generation tab. Everything is finished. We have the finished videos, and then those videos compiled together with the audio to get the full voiceover for that scene. So let's just check out how this one came out.
Miller believes these markings align with clues from Jacob Waltz, sparking hope for discovering the mine.
There we go. Pretty good voiceover. We got the video animating a zoom on that shot. So we can move on to the assembly table here and put together all of the scenes. Here's our Lost Dutchman story. All of the scenes, we can drop in our music file and assemble. So I'm going to jump into my Suno account, and I've generated some simple background musics that I can add to the back of my videos. And this one right here works just fine. So I'm going to use this Whispers in the Dark generated music. Go ahead and download that one and just drop it straight into the music field right here. Once that loads up, we can assemble the entire video. There it is. I'll click assemble. Now this last step will combine all of the scenes into a combined video and then add the music into a finished video. Again, this is triggering this make automation. So we're down here on this step to add music and finish the final video. There we have the combined video just pop in, and there it is. We just got the finished video back. Let's take a look at the final product here. We'll click on it, then we can hit this button to play.
A modern-day explorer claims to have found clues to the lost Dutchman's gold mine in the Superstition Mountains. Doug Miller finds mysterious symbols on rocks, possibly leading to the legendary mine. He is full of excitement. Miller believes these markings align with clues from Jacob Waltz, sparking hope for discovering the mine. As he plans his expedition, tales of vanished adventurers and ghosts of the Peralta family surface. The legend grows, shrouded in fears of vanishing into the mountains, as many have before. Mysteries deepen within jagged peaks, challenging those who dare to seek answers. The Superstition Mountains await those who listen for their secrets. Stories, yet untold, linger there. Explore with us as we discover mysteries of the world, from lost mines to legendary tales.
And there it is. Pretty good final outcome. You can see what you can achieve in just a few button clicks using this automation. If you guys want to check it out, it is available in my school community for download. You can download this Airtable base and have full access to this entire base, as well as the make.com blueprint. You can download the blueprint, load it straight into your make.com account, and use the entire automation. So there's the full demonstration of this automation. I'm curious to see how you guys end up using it. You can always shoot me a message in the school community. I have the link to my school community in the description of this video. You can also check out make.com and Airtable. If you haven't used these tools before, I put the links to those tools in the description as well. I'd love to see all of your content and videos that you're producing with this automation. So I hope to see you there, and I'll see you in the next one.